I'm blaming it on you, Fatima. Fatima?
You always blaming stuff on
everything.
me. No,
Everything.
I'm not even going to go there today.
Because I have no idea what fitting to be today. Let's see how many people come on. Let's see if the energy told everybody to just go into bed and act like the day didn't exist. Because the energy today, I don't like it. I got my book in there. Every time I start a class, I forget my book. I need my book. I'm going to go get my book. No, I'm going to go get my book. I'll be back.
Your book? What book?
My really binder for really nationalized news.
Oh, okay. All right. Huh? What?
I'm going to make that binder. Don't say anything.
What's good? What? Why you always think I'm joking? I'm a joke you. Why Fatima always think I'm a joker? I'm not gonna joke her. Islam. Pax or Timor. Can I tell you the energies today got me wanting to go hide under something? The energies today got me wanting to hide under something. What that something is, I do not know. Alright. We're going to talk about the Moorish National Divine Movement of the world today. We're going to stress also your grid. The website had a glitch for 24 hours, but that glitch is over. So definitely Moors, when you want to declare or proclaim your nationality, take your little butts to www.moorishamericanconsulate.com. .org. www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. Take your butts to the website and click on the link that says to declare and proclaim your nationality. It'll take you to the 5 documents that you need to download. The first one is the instructions. The second one is the name declaration. The third one is the judicial proclamation. The fourth one is the information sheet. And the fifth one is the order form for your nationality identification cards. That is if you want to do it all at the same time. You are able to do that. Okay? Always never forget, Moors, because y'all be bumping your head, Dorothy. Never forget to send a photo. How y'all gonna go there, as far as to print the name declaration and the judicial proclamation and forget everything else? Like the info sheet and a photo. So you'll do the name declaration, judicial proclamation. You'll forget the photo and you'll forget the information sheet. So now I have no way of contacting you to let you know, Felicia. Listen here. I need a photo. A photo of mommy and grandmommy as well. So get into the habit of sending all of that. And this is a good demonstration, good exercise for you to realize that a lot of y'all don't even know who y'all grandmama is. Because relationships get severed. Daughters leave their mom. You know, they might get kicked out, whatever. And they just kind of lose touch with the whole families for long periods of time. I was like, so this demonstration is not only getting you to reestablish some connection. Like, yo, Ma, I need a picture of grandma. I need a picture of grandma because Sharon said I can't send my documents without a picture of my grandma. Why is we asking for a picture of your mother and a picture of your grandmother? Does anybody on this platform know why that extra security feature is being commanded by those who wish to declare and proclaim their nationality? Does anybody know? What you looking at? What you looking at? What is it?
Background.
What, you see orbs?
You're not there.
That's not the video. Is that the... She's saying I'm not in the video. Am I in the video?
Oh, you're in the video.
You're in the video, but you're not here.
Huh? I'm confused.
Me too.
Something's up with this park. What be going on in Landis Park? I want to know. Why all these spirit beings behind us talking to us? Say hi to the spirit beings. Be like, hi. How are you? Show us your presence. Yes, what you say?
I'm going on. I went off.
You went on? You going back in? Oh, just Facebook, right?
Yeah.
You went in Facebook Live and you saw nothing.
I heard your voice. I lowered it.
That is interesting. Bloodline through mama and big mama. Right. Gotta validate status. Gotta validate standing. Gotta validate bloodline. Because there's a lot of people that do not have the bloodline of the Asiatic, and they run in all types of organizations. So what y'all think? Why y'all think y'all ain't getting nothing done? Why y'all think y'all ain't getting nothing done? Y'all all on social media talking about each other, and y'all don't realize why y'all talking about each other. Because the people that are in the head of those organizations that y'all belong to, that do videos and broadcasts, sitting here don't even have the bloodline of the Asiatic, yet they telling you how to govern. Do you see the conundrum in doing that? Do you see the
conflict of interest?
Can I say idiotic thing in doing that? Being under individuals that don't have the bloodline. So one thing that you got to realize is that some people have been put in front of in charge of those institutions to completely keep you off the right track. So just like how, you know, if you're not doing this, you probably should start doing this. When you're liking someone, get to know who their family is. Get to know who their mama is, who their grandmama is, who their daddy is, their cousins and uncles. Huh?
Protocol.
It is protocol, but nobody listens to that protocol because, like, let me tell you, my mother doesn't have a picture of my grandmother. She died when my mother was 3 years old. Let me tell you. I heard this again. Let me tell you. I heard this. Let me tell you. One individual said, my mother and my grandmother are passed away. I don't have photos of, they're passed away. I was like, what that got to do with you having a photo? So you mean the whole entire time that you were in your mother's care or in your grandmother's care, there are no pictures of y'all? Let me tell you something. My mother and my grandmother didn't really get along. They didn't get along because my grandmother did not like my mother's lifestyle. But I tell you, I have hundreds of photos of my grandmother. You know, they used to keep, like, but now everybody's photos of their tribes is in their phones, and you don't really take the time to print them out normally. So you're going to lose that information if you don't get into the habit of printing your photos out on a consistency basis and putting them in albums like your mothers and your grandmothers did. Now, you're going to have photo albums in somebody's attic, in somebody's house, with a bunch of photos, plus obituaries. Think about the obituaries. The obituaries will have photos in them of your grandmothers. So y'all can miss me with that. I'm serious. Y'all gonna miss me with the fact that you can't find photos of your grandmothers. But here's the issue. Here's the other thing. There's a blood test you could take as well, but we ain't gonna go to there because there's specific chromosome counts for specific beings. There are original beings and beings who came after the original beings. One of those beings have 24 chromosomes. The other beings have 46. There was a video that was uploaded earlier. They can ask, yes, they can ask relatives. Like, you know, we lose things because we're in the false matrix. So the longer you stay in the false matrix, Moors, the longer you stay. Maybe that's so crazy. Let me move over. That is interesting. Maybe because it's on the phone. Am I like on the side, y'all? Oh, that is so crazy. You got a different resolution. Shrink the. I don't know, man. I don't know. You got a genie. You got something going on in you. Huh?
You about to completely disappear. You down to your neck now.
Oh, it's about to go by. Also, I'm like moving.
Yes.
Anyway, you're going to have photos, y'all. This is honor. Y'all gotta honor who you come from. I don't care if it's an Albion womb or the Stargate of an Asiatic. You gotta rep who you from. And you can't be sitting here just because you mad at me. Why you mad at me? I didn't create you. It wasn't me. I created 3 beings, 3 original beings that come from this original being, this 24 chromosome original Asiatic that come from 23 chromosomes come from a mama. 1 come from the source. Just saying, y'all. Other people come from other places with some additional chromosomes, and you'll know who you are. And let me tell you something. I don't even need to test your blood for real to know that you are not of me, because you act different, you behave different, your energy's different. It's hard to connect with individuals You have to look at the energy and the spirit that's telling you that person is not like you. Because every time you try to get close to individuals, it's a difficult thing. They're secluded. They hide. They got secrets. Instead of sitting here jumping into bed with people as soon as you meet them, talk to them. Have some conversations. Don't go to the bar, because everybody look different at a bar than they do in the sun. Okay? Okay. You hear what I'm saying? You ever go to the bar, think somebody's really, really cute in the bar? You see them tomorrow on lunch and you be like, who the hell are you? Just saying. But I digress.
Shapeshifter.
Right? Right? You be sitting there like, ooh. That's why, you know, drink. Let me stop. Okay, I guess I have to track down my mother's aunts. Well, the reality is, this whole demonstration is getting to know self, right? I, self, law, and master. How are you going to know yourself if you don't know where you come from? If you don't start to talk to the people that you've come from, like your mother, your grandmother. This exercise, this demonstration is showing Moors to get in contact with people that they would normally never talk to. Because realize, aunts, uncles, cousins, they stop talking for fiat. You owe them $5, 5 fiat notes, and they stop talking to you for like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, we disassociate for the most asinine reasons. And you contacting your mother and your grandmother, and if you know, some people ain't got to go that far. Some people only got to go to mother because you really can tell. Some people got to go to grandmother, and then those other people got to go to great-grandmother, because that's how far off track that lineage went. And that's not on me. That's not on the consulate. That's not on the government. Because it's all about people being who they are and no hypothecation, because you're not going to steal anything from our heirs. It's our heirs. It's for them because they come from us. And we're not going to feel bad about that, because some individuals came here from across the border about 400 years ago, 300 years ago, 200 years ago. Okay, well, you don't have sovereignty here. You're a subject. That's including our brothers and sisters who come from Africa and other continents that are Asiatic. They subjects here too, because they have a nationality, and they lost their nationality by naturalizing into a corporate fiction. And the reasons why Moorish American nationals had bloodline ties on this landmass is because this is where they're originally from. Everybody who's not originally from here, who came over here and got naturalized in that system, you're a subject here, but you're sovereign somewhere else. And that's where you can claim land outside of a governmental structure giving you interest in the utilization, never the ownership of. Islam? Don't let people make you feel bad about that. For about 400 years, 300 years, 200 years, people made us feel bad that we had dark skin. People made us feel bad that our hair was kinky or tightly coiled. People got mad at us. I mean, it was ostracized themselves away from us for a multitude of reasons, because of the stigma and because of the colonialism. So now that, you know, there's land and wealth and resources that come with being Asiatic and highly melanated, now all of a sudden you like being melanated, or you want to be with a melanated person. Well, that intention and character is wrong. You should love me and you should want to be with me because you love me and want to be with me, not because I'm dark skinned or light skinned or fair skinned or got pretty so-called pretty hair, whatever the hell that is. Dorothy's, y'all bumped y'all heads. So it's time to get clear. What? Am I still moving?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, you just back to your head.
What you want me to give you?
Give me your hand.
My hand? Oh, you think it's the you want to take this one too? You just want to take all my crystals? She's decrystalifying me. She's leaving me open to the elements. I might just get swooped up. What if I get swooped up just now because you took all my stuff?
Did you want to go to the waterfall?
I want to go to the waterfall. Islam. So, I'm off the hip today. And Moors, this word on the street nonsense that you love to go and run down the field with, please stop doing that. Read the information on the website. Read the instructions. Somebody contacted me today. Well, where am I going to get a notary? Well, where did it say that in the instructions? And then another individual asked me, where am I going to get, it was under the notary, where am I going to get, somebody told me that I had to sign in black ink here. I'm like, well, who told you that? But here's the problem, more, stop going by what people say. Most of the people who are negative on social media are negative because they don't have the original bloodline and they mad they subjects. Felicia them, Becky them, get your grids done. Stop focusing on things that make no sense to you to be focused on, because they want to keep you distracted. Because this is how they function. They want to keep you distracted so you're not getting your grids done. Get your grids done. Because we're going to be doing massive land claims. Massive land claims. Because too many Moors are being unlawfully detained, unlawfully look, that's like a delay right there. A lot is going on. Stop allowing Albions who look like us, who've been in our Moorish organizations, only there to sabotage you, but actually they were holding the spots. They were holding the spots. The Moors are awake. The Moors are governing. The Moors are in their proper person. So everybody who's not coming from an Asiatic Stargate, get out the way. And individuals who are underneath those individuals who are not Asiatic, why are you there? What are they supposed to be giving you that you're not? I, self, law, am master. It's the study of self. If an individual is in charge or overseeing a Moorish organizations of Asiatic and he doesn't have the bloodline, does he or she really have a vested interest in the government being reestablished? Answer that question for yourself. Have they been utilizing the movement for financial reasons? Answer that question for yourself. It's about everybody. Stop acting like we're not all coming from the same mother, Asiatics, and we have a duty to support, defend, and protect one another. But at the very least, to support and defend and protect our heirs. That's the number one. Fix the sin your mother placed you in. And then you got mothers, Asiatic mothers all over the planet acting like straight monkeys. Seriously. Seriously. I'm not even going there because I don't want to go there today. But Asiatic women, get your shit together. Really. It's embarrassing at this point that you have. Oh, I like that. Moabitis, through grammatical tricknology, the word kinky is really kingly. Change the consonant. And that's great, right? Because kinky's not even to me, it's not derogative. Tightly coiled. Information, this is an antenna. Your hair is an antenna. It's alive. Just like your blood is alive. You are alive. Even when the body passes form, the blood still is alive. You still functioning. Other people ain't got live blood. I'm telling you, we're gonna be able to do these tests so easy, so simple. You ain't even gonna have to go nowhere. All you gotta do is put your blood on a telescope. Is it a telescope? Yeah. Telescope. Look at it. See if it's alive. Let it sit for like a week. Dry. Then rehydrate it. It's still alive because you never die. I'm saying these things because there's two forms here. There's people who are the walking dead, and there's people who are living and will never die. And I know I'm going over some of y'all head, but it's all right. Y'all gonna catch up eventually. Y'all gonna catch up. Watch movies that show our people. I'm not even going there because I know I'm not going there. So the divine and national movement of the world, the holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Ye are the children of one father, one mother, father. What is a father? Father. What's in father? Somebody do the etymology on father? Because y'all think it's a man, and it's not a man. But keep in mind what a man really is. Masculine, feminine energy. Masculine, feminine energy. It's just not talking about masculine. They've hypothecated so many words, and we've abandoned so much of ourselves that we think we only exist because of the help or because of man, because we allowed ourselves to be tricked with words. So one mother gave you suck, provided by her care. In the breast of one mother's giving you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers and sisters, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. You see the hypothecation here? Because fathers don't create anything, but yet Father created everything. How Father created everything, but Father created nothing? And science in nature tells you that. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relationships that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. Prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. We all carry the same blood, all Asiatics. So when you side with a foreigner, meaning someone who does not share the same blood as you, you're violating your covenant. You're committing sin. How are people doing that today? In a multitude of ways. I see sons, as well as Asiatic women that are policy enforcers, that are security guards, that are county corporate employees, violating the very oath that they took just to even come down here. You take an oath. You take an oath to be there in solidarity with your kin, with your tribe. So every time you side with a corporation or an Albion, you're violating your covenant. So of course you're in sin. Absolutely you are. If the brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. How are we violating these things when we're not there when things happen to one another? When we sit here and charge astronomical fiat for liberation of self. And then you got people out there charging you a whole astronomical fees for assisting you with so-called foreclosures, or assisting you with so-called, it's just foreclosures, but yet you still got foreclosed on. And all of a sudden they ain't answering the phones. And all of a sudden they're just too busy to reach out. Well, maybe you should stop looking for someone to save you and save yourself. We all got to get competent. You can't sit here and say that you want to administer your estate, but you don't want to gain the knowledge on how to do that. The only individuals that will be living alonely on this land are those who going to get their grid done, and who are going to walk in honor and do the things that they need to do, not only for self, but for your children. Our children are in these institutions that are soon going to be ministries, Moorish ministries, because all the liens are getting done this week. And they're going to be teaching erudite lessons. So even if mom don't want to do what she need to do, the school going to do what it needs. The erudite ministry is going to do what needs to be done. So you can't sit here and just keep having children, give them a false matrix, and then hold them up to a false matrix they never should have been a part of to begin with, because they are the heirs to the world's largest estate. And we were talking earlier today about how our mothers do this to us, how they put us in such perpetual slavery and debt. Before we even turned 18, we done got a list of debt because of all the stuff mommy has been applying for under those nom de guerres. We all have stories where so-called family members would get your the social security number in the nom de guerre and go apply for all types of stuff, but leave you holding the bag. So how can you sit here and say that you don't understand why nationality is the order of the day, and you don't understand why you've been calling yourself Negro, colored, and black when you've been frauding your own seed, creating all types of debt for your own seed. So when they get out there trying to make a living, they ain't got no electricity, can't get no electricity, can't get no water. So-called corporate credit, all bad, because mommy was doing all types of stuff when the baby was a baby. So now when they're 18, when you kick them out the house, now they got to figure out how to live. When you left them completely defenseless to be able to support and defend and protect themselves. Not to mention, all right, when you turn 60, 70, 80, when your system starts failing, now you're going to look for your children to take care of you when they sit here trying to survive. In the subjugation, in the slavery, you left them in the debt. So mothers, fix the sin you placed your children in and your mother placed you in. Because even though we can sit here and just complain and sit here and be like, Mom, go back. Mommy did this to me. Okay, well, you're grown enough. You got to fix it. And if you're not going to fix it for you, fix it for your children. So they're not even a part of the debt system by creating them loyally. How do you create a child loyally? Because they're born free. Don't sign them up for wardship status. That's how you do it. Another Moor called me earlier today or sent me a text message asking she's about to have a baby and she wants to know what to do. Well, don't do anything, actually. All the stuff that you were doing, don't do it. The only thing you need to do, go to that. If you want to go into the hospital and have a baby, you go in there, first of all, in your proper person. Don't be a ward trying to sit here and free a baby when you still in captivity. How are you doing that? You can't. You got to clear yourself first. How you saving anybody if you still in shackles in the mind? You can't. So how you going to free your babies when you ain't free? And how you going to stand on law when you don't know it? And if you're going to have the babies in the hospital, you need to make sure you do some things. You got 9 whole months. A lot of you at least got 6. You might not find out you having a baby till you about 3 months, but you got 6 months to get it right. So when you do go into those, if you do choose to go into those hospitals to have your child, you coming out with with your child free of any debt bondage. But don't go in there as a debt bond, as property yourself. Have your nationality done. Have your nationality identification cards. Have already put your OB, gynecologist, the administrators of that facility, let them know when you coming in there. Look, I'm about to have a baby. I'm coming in there. I'm going to have this baby. Y'all ain't touch. All y'all going to do is make sure nothing goes wrong. Outside of that, I don't need y'all to do nothing else. And the baby won't be leaving my room. It will be staying in this room the entire time I'm here. And when it does, and if it does have to leave for whatever checkout, my consort will be there watching you. Or my mother or my sister. But if you can't go in there with that kind of energy, have your baby at home. And you don't have to name your baby. Actually, you're not even supposed to name your baby before you have it. How are you naming it? Because you're supposed to be using the stars to determine who your baby is. Because it came here with certain energy. So help it with that energy. Help your children. Instead of hurting them and leaving them defenseless to support themselves. And then when you about 80 years old, you want somebody to support you. How you going to want somebody to support you when you 80 years old and you gave them nothing to support themselves? How are they doing it? That's why all y'all in those adult daycare centers and in those nursing homes being victimized and used for research and development. That's what's going on. Your mothers that are in those facilities, yeah, they doing stuff at night to them. Yep, they are. They're putting poisons in them. Yep, they are. They're extracting their blood. Yep, they are. They're doing all types of stuff to your mothers and your fathers that y'all put in those nursing facilities. And guess who's doing it? Yep, all you Asiatics that are CNAs. You giving it to them. Because you just doing your job. Yep, that's what you're doing. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You're going to get that karma energy no matter what you do or no matter what you don't do. So how about this? Gain knowledge of self and stop sending your babies and your heirs to defenseless. So if you look at all of our communities, oh, look at that beautiful moon. You look at all of our communities. That moon is beautiful. It was slender, so it's going to a full. I still have issues with waxing and waning. I still have issues with that. I just know when it's full and when it's a new moon. Huh?
We're still in the first 14 days of the new moon.
Holy instructions from the prophet on justice. The peace of society dependeth on justice. The happiness of individuals on the safe enjoyment of all of their possessions. Keep the desires of thy heart, therefore, within the boundaries of moderation. Let the hand of justice lead them aright. So it says, stop being a glutton in all of those lovely, deadly sins that we know. Food, taste, touch, feel, hearing. Cast not an evil eye on the goods of thy neighbor. Let whatever is his property be sacred from thy touch. Yeah, stop stealing people's stuff. Stop stealing people's stuff. Stop coveting people's stuff. Don't be a glutton. Let no temptation allure thee, nor any provocation excite thee to lift up thy hand in a hazardous to thy life. So don't kill people. Defame him not in his character. Bear no false witness against him. Oh, that goes on all day on social media. Y'all be straight trying to assassinate people's character, but every dart you throw on somebody, like 20 coming back.
You can get your
Corrupt not his servant to cheat or forsake him, and the wife of his bosom, O tempt not to sin. It will be grief to his heart which thou canst relieve, and injuring to his life, which no reparations can atone. In thy dealings with men, be impartial and just, and do unto them as thou wouldst should do unto thee. So do unto others as you want others to be on you. So you can't be a cheater, but then want somebody to be faithful. How's that working? Be faithful to thy trust, and deceive not the man who relieth upon thee. Be assured it is less evil in the sight of Allah to steal than to betray. Oppress not the poor, and defraud not of his hire the laboring man. So don't oppress the poor, and stop cheating the man that's doing the work. When thou sellest for gain, hear the whispering of conscience, and be satisfied with moderation, nor from the ignorance of thy buyer take an advantage. Pay the debts which thou owest, for he who gave thy credit relieveth upon thy honor, and to withhold from him his due is both mean and unjust. Yeah, so let's talk about that one. I'm going to read that again. Pay the debts thou owest, for he who gave thy credit relieth upon thy honor, and to withhold from him his due is both mean and unjust. How is this happening in our communities? Okay, yeah. You sit here. I ain't going there. Finally, O son of society, examine thy heart, call remembrance to thy aid, and if in any of these things thou hast transgressed, make a speedy reparations to most thy power. How can you do that? Okay, you know you steal land, you know you're squatting on land. When you get adverse claims for possession by the sovereigns, move. Because you know that's not your land. You know you're squatting. You know you came from some other place, and this is not where you have sovereignty. I'll be honest, know all of this. Foreigners know all of this. Y'all came here to hypothecate and to make wealth of others' unfortunate circumstance. But now the whole world is bleeding. The whole world is bleeding and waiting for the North Gate, the originals, to save them. Just realize karma comes and hits everyone, no matter where you are, no matter how competent you are at this point in time, and matter how cognitive you are of the realities of what you've been doing your whole entire life. So if you've been a mercenary your whole entire life, yeah, you got a lot to atone for. I just want you to know. Start doing it now. Balance your scale. Balance your scale. I was watching a movie, The Scales of Mayat. What is on the scales of Mayat? There's two things on the scales of Mayat. Does anybody know what those two things on the scale of Mayat are? What is Mayat holding in her left and her right hand? Does anybody know that question? What is Mayat holding? The scales of justice. Come on, y'all. Really?
Truth, justice.
No. Mayat? The scale, the woman with the scale. Y'all know this. Y'all just overthinking it. The woman with the scale. She got a heart in one. What's another one? A feather. Ain't that crazy?
Right.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
She's trying to balance it out.
She's trying to balance it out. So
out.
what is it? So what does it mean? So what does it mean though? The feather and the heart. I know that people don't know this and have clarity. Do a little research on Mayat. The feather and the heart. The heart can weigh you down, and the feather is there to give you balance. And one is a little bit, is it heavier than the other? So if you're weighing it down, just do some research on the heart and the feather and come back next week. But didn't we have an assignment, y'all? Wasn't their assignment that the children had to learn the mantra? Fatima, are we on our curriculum? Do we know the mantra?
Do we know
The babies.
mantra?
You're supposed to know it, so I'm not going to ask you the mantra. Who is ready to come on this live and speak the mantra? If you are ready to come on this live and speak the mantra without making a blemish or a mistake, come in and I'll put you on. I'll put at least 11 people on tonight. If we can get 11 people to state the mantra, and I'll begin. I'll be number 1. I am Sharon Tracy Galbay, Moorish American National, improprio persona, sui juris, improprio solo, improprio heredis, at all times and at all points in time. I am a descendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet and the Moabites and the Canaanites. I am the law. I am the government. And I command you state your name and nationality for the record, on the record, without any further comment. You do not have jurisdiction over me, and I command you set me free, return my property, cease and desist all actions against me. Notice the agent, it's notice the principal, notice the principal, it's notice the agent. No United States citizens have jurisdiction over any Moorish American national. So mote it be, so mote it be, so mote it be. So that's number 1. Who's ready to do the mantra? Fatima, anybody ready? Children, where's my children? Where's my children ready to do the mantra? I gotta put that on Instagram, that's how I'm gonna get them. I gotta go on Instagram and be like, look, y'all gotta learn the mantra. Do Facebook Lives on the mantra, or Instagram Lives, or Twitter Lives on the mantra. Who's ready? If you're ready to do the mantra, click. Click to be added to this Facebook Live. Or put your appellation and put your hand up, say, I'm ready. I'm ready to state the mantra on the public record. I'm ready. This is the most beautiful public notification of self, because it'll be on Facebook and then it'll be on YouTube. So who knows the mantra? Here we go with the crickets. I don't even hear no crickets, but I hear crickets. Nobody? Ajax, y'all talk so much on social media, but then when we get over here, y'all ain't got nothing to say. Nothing? I still ain't got nothing. I ain't saying nothing else. How about that? I ain't saying nothing. And then y'all gonna be calling me, Sharon, what's the mantra? I'm getting detained right now. I need to know the mantra. Well, you should have been studying the mantra when Sharon was telling you to do it for your curriculum. You should have been studying. What's the Sharon gonna say?
I like it either. I didn't like it then, but I was going to accept it.
Nobody gonna say anything? Okay. Chapter... I don't know what chapter this is. The divine origin of the Asiatic nations. The divine origin of the Asiatic nations. You can. Don't say... You can state the mantra. You want to state the mantra? Since nobody else is going to... Can we get at least 3 people on the Facebook Live to state the mantra? Let's see if I can get you. Let's see. How would I do it? I don't know. All right, let's see. I'm bringing... Let's see. When you come on, state your appellation for the record on the record. And then state the mantra. It's adding you. I don't know why it's taking so long. Because you said I can. It says it's adding you, so I'm sure you have to do something on your end. Because I done added you already. So until you come on, the divine origin of the Asiatic nation. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans. He declined, y'all. He said, I can, but then declined. Why'd you say I can? The hands of the Asiatic nation. I'm going to say that again. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nation. I'm going to say that one more time. The keys of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. The Moorish, who were ancient Moabites, who are ancient Moabites, and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. The Egyptians, who were the Hamites, and of a direct descendants of Mizraim, the Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese. Oh. The Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites of the land of Canaan, the Asiatic nations of North, South, and Central America, the Moorish Americans and Mexicans of North America, the Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims, not Muslims, Muslims. You were born Muslims. Why are you born Muslims? That's a question. I wonder if somebody's going to put that answer in the comment section. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar.
Are you serious?
Who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning with Muhammad I, the founding of the Uniting of Asia, by the command of the great universal God Allah. United Nations Declarations on Human Rights. Article 2. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration, without distinction of any kind, such as race, only one race, y'all, so color, sex, language, religion, political and other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of political, jurisdictional, and international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs. I think not. Whether it be independent trust, not self-governing, or under any other limitations of sovereignty. Article 15. Everyone has a right to a nationality. Now here's where I disagree. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his nationality, which you cannot be arbitrarily deprived of your nationality. You can just cease to use it in your defense. Nor deny the right to change your nationality. Can you change your nationality? Why can't you change your nationality? Because your nationality means where you came from. Who you came from. So Moors, you gotta learn how to read. There's so much in here. But there were certain things I wanted to read. There's a long divine warning. I read the divine warning for the prophet already. I put it on YouTube. Islam. Oh, wait a minute. We got it over there. You ready? You ready?
No. I'm not going to memorize it. I might have to read it off the paper.
Okay, you got to memorize it. Next week, you're going to do it. So you got to remember it by next week.
I got school. Like, no.
What? Did she say she got school?
Yeah, this is school.
There you go.
That's Civics 101. The first.
Who has read
Freak out of here.
the 101 questionnaire for Moorish Americans and children? A lot of these lessons that I'm reading from are going to be available on the Moorish Erudit Ministry tab of the Moorish American Consulate. Because we need you guys to get grounded in fundamentals. We don't need you looking all over the internet for it and getting all distracted and going down the yellow brick road. We need you to stay focused on your erudite lessons, get your degrees of knowledge, and realize, I said earlier today, I don't know if y'all caught it, who are all Moors? I said who are all Moors based on the divine origin of the Asiatic nation. The divine origin of the Asiatic nation. The divine origin of the Asiatic nation. I'm going to read that again. Because people don't know who they are. Because of all of the false matrix and the false corporations claiming to be governments, claiming to be states, and claiming to be sovereign, none of which they could ever be. Because they only exist on paper. They're corporate fictions. Which is why everybody is subject to the false matrix currently. Especially if you sit here and say you don't know who you are. You are a product of false matrix. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate and know their higher self and their lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. Got to get to know your higher self and your lower self. Got to get to know your higher self and your lower self. Got to be in control of both. And never letting one supersede the other, but being in harmony. The keys of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. The Moors, who were ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. The Egyptians, who were the Hammatites and the direct descendants of Mizraim. The Arabs, the seed of Hagar, Japan and China. The Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites of the land of Canaan. The Asiatic nations of North, South, and Central America. The Moorish Americans and Mexicans of North America. The Brazilians, the Argentinians, the Chileans in South America. Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador, Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning with Muhammad I, the founding of the uniting of Islam, by the command of the great universal God Allah. Now the uniting of Islam, which is I, self, law, and master. For everybody to be themselves, just like Islamism, I, self, law, and master, is a study of self. You have to know yourself. If you think astrology, cosmology, is witchery or is a pagan or occult science based on your ignorance in what realignment in religion really is and the difference between the two, you're going to never be able to know self. You'll never be able to be yourself or I, self, law, and master, because you are in controversy with self, in controversy with alignments in religion, in culture, and heritage. There's a chapter in the Circle 7. I'm flipping around, purposefully doing that. Okay, what chapter? I think it's the last chapter. Oh, I did read that. So I read chapter 45. I think that was 45. That was chapter 45 of the Circle 7. The Divine Origin of the Asiatic Nation. That was chapter 45 where I was speaking on. Please read that, because this is your information. This is who you are. This is who you are. Okay? Canaanites, Hittites, Moabites, the Hindus of India. Just saying. Chapter 26. The beginning of Christianity. I'm going to read that just because I think I should. The foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the yoke and law. He was seeking to redeem his people from under the yoke and the law. And we're using Jesus because that's what you know. Not because that is who he was, but that is who you know. Jesus himself was the true blood of an ancient Canaanite and Moabite and the inhabitants of Africa. I'm going to read that again. Jesus himself was the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa. We're talking about Yahshua, y'all.
Yeah, where'd she go?
Where'd who go?
Leah.
She might have went with, okay. Seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, Rome crucified him according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad I came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Jesus the Nazarene. The holy teaching of Jesus was to the common people, to redeem them from under the great pressures of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. Also that the lion and the lamb may lay down together, and neither would be harmed when morning came. These teachings were not attempted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the 10 Commandments. Through the 10 Commandments, the rulers of the rich live, while the poor suffer and die. The lamb is the poor people. The lion is the rulers and the rich. And through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny. and to worship under their own vine and fig tree, after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace. But there is but one true and divine way that peace will be obtained in these laws, in these days. And it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations and all lands. Why? How you gonna have peace if y'all lying? How? If you're not gonna be yourself and be who you are naturally through your bloodline lineal, because Muhammad, Yeshua, aka Jesus, came here to teach you to be yourself and to stop you from aligning yourself with the false matrix under the Roman Empire. You're still doing, and then Prophet Noble Jew Ali obviously had to come to get you out of the sin. So all of these prophets have to keep coming because you keep refusing to be yourself, which is what Islam and Islamism is, the study of self. The only way peace will exist in our lands is if we be ourselves. Don't be scared to be that and gain knowledge of how the world really is run or should be run. Chapter 47. Egypt and capital empire of the dominions of Africa. Again, these terms were placed in this book because of your connotative linguistical lack of knowledge, let's say. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the great Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominions of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the Father and the Son. Okay? So Ethiopians are not a name to identify a people. It's a demarcation line to divide land. Amexem is the ancient word for Africa. It told you all of that. The dominions of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest are the father's dominion of Africa. The later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Land joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, northwest Amexem, North America, the North Gate. They were the founders and the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominions and habitations extended from northeast and southwest Africa across Great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. We're giving you lineage, bloodline, culture in chapter 46 of the Holy Quran. Read it, study it. It's giving you who you are, anciently, where you come from, so you can get out of the false matrix set up by Rome to hypothecate you, because you abandoned by not knowing who you are. The Nile River was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extended eastward from the river Nile, westward across the great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, there is no black, there are no colored race attached to the human family, because all of the inhabitants of Africa, Amexem, anciently known, were and are the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from his descent nature of his forefathers unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself, which none of you have that power to do. There is no one who is able to change man. Oh, I already read that. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet Noble Jew Ali and the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America, unincorporated. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all temples, which it has not been. That they will learn to open their meetings and guide in accordance to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You can't even act like you're under the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice when truth is not dwelling within your organizational structures because of the incompetence of your administrative people. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is informed under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet in the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet Noble Jew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics in America to repent from their sinful ways before the great awful day that is sure to come. What he's saying is you have to declare and proclaim your nationality. Stop identifying under a false matrix set up by those who created the Roman Catholic Church as well as the Christian religion to keep you outside of yourself, and so they could keep hypothecating you in the wealth of the land. The time has come for every nation must worship under their own vine fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. So when they say, who are you? That's you confessing your own. So when they say, who are you? What are you going to say? I hope you don't say, I am Jane Smith of corporate territory, Los Angeles. I hope you don't say that. I hope you don't show a ward card. I hope you know who you come from. If you don't, you better read chapter 40, 45, 46, and 47 over and over again, and then do the research. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefather. Every nation has suffered slavery because they are in complete sin against being themselves. So they're in violation of law. When you do not declare and proclaim your nationality, and you seek to align yourself or stay aligned with the false matrix, you are saying you want to remain a slave. That's what you're saying. So you're going to suffer slavery. You're going to continue to be enslaved because you refuse to honor your forefathers and your foremothers by being yourself and declaring and proclaiming your nationality. That is why the nationalities of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774. And the word Negro, black and colored, was given to the Asiatics of America, who were the Moorish descendants, because they honored not the principles of their own mothers and fathers and strayed to the idol gods of Europe, which they knew nothing about. That's that false matrix. That's the Christian. That's the Christian religion that a lot of our people are continuing to align themselves with outside of their nativity and their nationality. And now we got chapter 47. The end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecy. The last prophet in these days is Prophet Noble Jew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of their great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days, who to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Jesus. In these modern days, there came a forerunner of Jesus who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name was Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, I, self-law and master, the study of self. And his name is Prophet Noble Jew Ali, who was prepared and sent to the earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion into everlasting gospel of the Son of Men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father, God Allah. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization, unincorporated organization, company. Any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the Prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. That the word may be heard and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa, a maxim, there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the Son of Man under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We are a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa and Mexico. Do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on this earth. How you going to be under them when we created when we are the salvation of them? How you are under them when we their salvation? How is that possible? And how are you going to amalgamate with someone who's lesser than? And that's not a derogatory statement. That's the reality through nativity, nature. And you can do a blood test just to find that out. Very simple. You cannot align yourself with a false matrix. I'm just going to leave that there. We are a clean and pure nation descended from the inhabitants of Africa and Mexico. Do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. We are their salvation. They're not ours. We are their salvation. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, I, self-law, and master, the study of self, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. The covenants of the great God Allah: honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon this earth plane which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Come all ye Asiatics of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift falling humanity. We are uplifting falling humanity. Come and link yourself back with the families of nations, with the tribes of nations. We honor all true and divine prophets. That was the last chapter of the Circle 7 Quran. But the chapter that I love the most was the first one, which doesn't even have a chapter number. And we're going to conclude with that. The creation and fall of man. Time never was when man was not. If life of man at any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thought of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. All finite things are subject unto change. All finite things will cease to be because there was a time when they were not. The bodies and the soul of man are finite things, and they will change ye from the finite point of view. The time will come when they will be no more. But man himself is not the body nor the soul. He is the spirit and a part of Allah. That's where you get the 23andMe. That's where you get the 24 chromosomes. You get the 23 from your mom, and you get the 1 from the source. You get the 23 from the mom, you get the 1 from the source. You get the 23 from your mother, you get the 1 from the source. But man himself is not the body and not the body and the mind. Not the body or the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. So the 23, that 1 is your spirit, baby. The 1 is the spirit that comes from the divine, that goes back. That's the original man with the 24 chromosomes. I know I'm not missing you. I know you're right there with me. Creative faith gave man, to spirit man, a soul that he might function on the plane of soul. Gave him a body of flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest. Why did creative faith give to spirit man a soul that he might function on the plane of soul? Why did creative faith give to soul a body of the flesh that he might function on the plane of things made manifest? Hear now, ye worlds, dominions, powers, thrones. Hear now, ye seraphims and cherubims, ye angels and ye men. Hear now, protoplast, earth, plant and beast. Hear now, ye creeping things on earth, the fish that swim, the birds that fly. Hear now, the winds that blow, the thunders and the lightnings in the sky. Hear now, ye spirits of the fire, of water, of earth, of air. Hear now, ye everything that is, or was, or evermore will be, for wisdom speaks from out of the highest planes of spirit life. Man is the thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite, so man never dies. Man has living blood. Blood never dies, because man comes from Allah. first was a thought. They are not measured up by times, no such thing as time. For things that are concerned with time begin and end, and you are infinite. The thoughts of Allah are the everlasting of the past unto the never-ending days to come. And so man is the spirit man. Ain't that beautiful? It's awesome. But man, like every thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself potencies of Allah. Just as the seed of the planet of Earth holds deep within it attributes of every part of the special plant. So spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of God. Now seeds are perfect, ye as perfect as the source from which they come. Now seeds are perfect, ye as perfect as the source from which they come. But they are not unfolded unto life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deep planted in the soil that he might grow, unfold. And does the bud unfold to show the flower? The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was filled, ordained to be Lord of the plane of soul and the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth the human seed with the soul, with the soil of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul. He became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Hark now, let every creature hear. The plane of soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythms of this plane, in the essence of life made manifest, the perfumes and the odors, the true sensations, and all of love are manifest. And these soul attributes become a body beautiful. A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Upon the boundaries of the plane of soul, the ethers began to vibrate slower still, and then the essence took on a final garb, the perfumes and odors and the true sensations and all the love which clothed in flesh. And man was clothed in flesh. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life. And so a carnal nature was fully manifested, a nature that sprang forth from fleshy things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. So calamity is meant to strengthen you, not to defeat you. You are meant to overcome it. And thoughts must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be strengthened of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all, the plane of manifest, of protoplast, of mineral, of plant, of beast. But he gave up his birthrights just to glorify or gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate and his heritage. So you fell because you wanted to enjoy your lower self. And those are those five senses. What are those five senses? You are the commanders. You are the God of everything here, including beasts, including mankind, which is why we can create an affidavit and they have to listen. This is why, because you are God. They have to listen. You just have to know that you are that, and you command and you do not ask. But he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yea, he must suffer trials and temptations manifold. But let him know that cherubims and seraphims that rule the stations of the sun and the spirit of the mighty Allah, who rules the solar system, or the solar stars, are his protector and his guide. That's astrology, y'all. So you have to know your Trinity. You have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Are his protector and his guide, and they will lead him to victory. So you have to know your astrology. You have to know when you were born, because when you were born told you the lessons that you're going to learn while you're here, the calamity you're going to endure. And throughout the energies and the moon cycles and the star cycles and the planet cycles, you'll realize the tests that you must go through. And if you ignore them, they get harder. Man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul. When man has conquered carnal things, his garb of flesh will have served him purpose well, and it will fall away, which means you will leave. You will be no more. You will go back to the divine, to the spirit. Then he will stand untrampled on the plane of soul, where he must fully complete his victories. Unnumbered foes will stand before him upon the plane of soul that he must overcome. Ye overcome them, each and every one. Thus hope will ever be his beacon light. There is no failure for the human soul, for Allah is leading on and victory is assured. Ain't you happy you got that one from, just saying. Man cannot die, spirit man is one with Allah. And while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have fully opened out, will have unfolded into the holy breath. The garb of soul will then have served its purpose well, and man will need it never no more. And it will pass and be no more, and man will then have attained its blessedness. I don't like that word, blessedness, of perfectness, and be one with Allah. So what did I say? Nationality is the order of the day. You got to be yourself. The only way you're going to know your higher self and your lower self is to be yourself. And the way you know your higher self and your lower self and be yourself is to know why you came. And your astrological will, your natal chart is what's going to tell you who you are, what are your pressure points, when you might need to stay in the house or go out, when you might need to speak or not. But if you don't use your astrology, if you don't use your culture, your heritage, your bloodline, your birthright, and align yourself with your nation and not choose a foe who is not a part of you and amalgamating outside of yourself, you are going to get those lessons. You are going to fit. Because keep in mind, those are all tests. And you are being a slave to your lower self. I think I've said enough. Islam. Get your grids done. Do your astro chart. Go to astro.com and do your natal chart. Find out why you came here. What energies you're dealing with. And treat each relationship with energy. Like energy. If somebody gives you a bad taste and you can't connect the dots, there's a reason for that. Y'all ain't the same. Y'all got different frequencies. Don't lower your vibrations to be with somebody who ain't of you. And their whole life is going to be to make sure you stay there in that frequency. Because that's where they're having a great old time hypothecating you. I said enough. Pax it more. Peace and love. Visit www.moorishamericanconsulate.org. If you haven't declared or proclaimed your nationality, declare and proclaim your nationality. We're going to have the Moorish Erudit lessons tab eventually, which is going to have the binder for newly nationalized Moors. This binder for newly nationalized Moors, which is what I was reading from, has everything that you need to get started, Moors. So look at this as, instead of the binder for newly nationalized Moors, I'm going to call it Moorish Erudit Degrees Ministry binder. I'm going to change it. Because you need to know yourself. You need to know who you are. You need to know why you're here. And you need to battle that lower self, which is sinful. Remember, the Albions are here to test you. Just know that. And they're testing a lot of you so bad. Y'all just running around the hamster wheel. Running around the hamster wheel. Pax out to more. Peace and love. Islam. I'm getting off this feed. Share this video. Like this video. And I will see you on Sunday. I'll see you on Sunday at City Hall, Center City, Philadelphia. Sunday, City Hall, Center City, Philadelphia, 1:30 to 4:30. Demetrius Barker Bay has class in New York tomorrow. Starts at 6. All the classes, whether they are virtual or whether they are in-class classes, all can be found on the website as well. So you don't have to send me text messages asking me, Sharon, when's the next class? Go to the website. That's what I'm sending all y'all. Go to the website. Don't ask me no questions. I busted my butt getting that website up with the help of Izeal. And he did all the real work. I just told him where to put stuff. Islam, I love you too. Pax that some more. Pax that some more. And read the first chapter of the circle of the Holy Quran. and read chapters 45, 46, and 47. That is your homework for this week because it's giving you multiple keys that you need. So when Moorish sit here and be like, am I a Moorish American national? Read chapter 46. I'm going to send y'all to that chapter. So maybe if you read the chapter, you'll realize, oh, I domicile there. Oh, I'm that. But also realize, even if you domicile there, because we have a whole lot of hypothecators domiciling in those areas as well, squatting, you are what your mother is. Send those photos. Align yourself, no matter who you are. Honor your bloodline. Pax out the Lord. Peace and love. Okay, now it's not going to let me get on. What just happened? This thing is so weird. Whatever.